Yo, welcome to Dre and DC's Hip Hop Cruise Podcast. We got another episode, man. This is gonna be one. They're all good, man. I can't even say one of the better ones. They are all good, man. But this one's gonna
Facts.
it's gonna just blow your mind, man. Today we're gonna be talking about, as you see in the title, hip hop giving back to the community. And y'all know I got my frat brother DC in the building, and myself,
Poppin'.
and I don't even feel adequate enough to introduce this brother because he needs lights and he needs let's get ready to rumble guy. He needs that type of introduction. But I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best. Hey, look, today we got Dupre Kelly, Newark, New Jersey City Councilman of West Ward, and
Right.
I believe he's a co-founder of Impact 211.
211 Community Impact, man, definitely.
211 Community Impact, my bad. And he's also a hip hop artist, a member of the Lords of the Underground, and y'all know who that is. Brother, welcome to the podcast, brother. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. Dre, what up, DC? I'm good. Thanks for having me.
What's good?
So yeah, for those who don't know, I had Councilman. What do you want me to call you on this, man? Because I can say Councilman Kelly.
Man, Councilman is cool. Do is cool. Do it
All right,
is cool.
I'm gonna say do because I'm used to do. I had Do on a previous podcast, man, and he was dropping some knowledge, man. I'll drop that link too. But I just want to talk about today. We're gonna just talk about hip hop artists giving back to the community, and what they're doing. So we all know that there's hip hop artists that work behind the scenes. They don't look for credit. They don't look for accolades. They just do what they do for their community, and it comes natural to them. So Do is one of those hip hop artists that does that, man. He's more than just a hip hop artist. He's done so much. For me, because he does so much in the community, and I see it, and I don't even live there. I'm in Georgia now. Because he does so much for the community, some people will say, "Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, Lords of the Underground. That's I know him from that." But people in the city, in Newark, they know him for who he is, and that's Councilman Dupre Kelly, and the man that puts in work. What's going on, my brother?
Man, I'm good, man. It's funny because I know we were just talking off camera for a quick second. That's the hip hop culture too, man. And as I was saying off camera, hip hop is that way. Hip hop is always looked at as the now culture because it speaks that in its name. Hip is being in the knowing, right? And hop is a form of movement. So if you look at it that way, it's always the now movement. And when you are part of a movement that's continuously to move, you have to continue to grow with it too. So yes, it started off with Lords of the Underground. Even before Lords of the Underground, it started with breakdancing on cardboard in your area. It started with trying to tag and who had the best tag and graffiti. It started with all of that, right? Even trying to DJ a little. And it becoming a part of a trio who has made an impact in the culture with my brothers, Mr. Funky and DJ Lord Jazz, as Lords of the Underground, and myself. And then it went on to be other things, getting into movies and getting it on television and representing the culture from that aspect. But my manager said to me one time after we had did MTV, I've been rocking Newark on my hats and Newark on my clothes for years. After doing MTV, he said, "How did you feel?" And I was like, "Man, we killed it. You saw it." He was like, "Yeah, that's good." He said, "You Newarked out right now," meaning I was dripped all in the Newark gear. And I was like, I got kind of defensive. I was like, first I was like, "Yeah." And then he was like, "But what have you done for Newark lately?" So I got kind of defensive, like, "What you mean? It was just millions of people watching this. They saw Newark all on my hats, Newark all, you know." He was like, "I'm not talking about marketing and promoting. I'm talking about what have you done for Newark lately?" And he stumped me. I couldn't answer it. And that day I swore that nobody will ever be able to ask me for my city, which I give so much credit to on records and in magazines and interviews and all of that stuff. And then you can't even answer what it has done for you lately, other than marketing and promotion. So that day, I promised that nobody will ever be able to ask me about my city that I haven't gave back to what is given to me or more. And I just led with that, and that is leading with hip hop, right? Because I really believe
Absolutely.
that art can foster change in our community,
Most
no matter
definitely.
what it is.
Right.
And I think that because of the bad rap that hip hop and rappers get a lot of times because of our presence is so strong. And when your presence is so strong and you come from nothing, or you don't come from the etiquette that is uh used to by other people, they take it as anything foreign or strange is always a pushback, right? It's
Yeah.
always a push away.
Right.
Anything. If I just gave you a clear glass of something and I say, drink this, and you say, hey, man, it don't smell like liquor and it's not water. You like, I'm not drinking that. I don't know what it is. So it's always pushback to something that you don't know, but you don't know that that might be the thing that can save your life or heal you from
Right.
something. And I think that we have a lot of artists that comes from our hip hop culture that doesn't come wrapped in the typical packages that America is used to. And they're starting to get used to it though, because we are the pop culture now. Hip hop, the culture of hip hop is the pop culture. And when you are part of the hip hop culture, the pop culture, the popular, all that means is popular culture. It changes society. It changes the way you eat, think, drink. It votes politicians into office. And that's what we meant as Lords of the Underground on Chief Rocker when we said we live with the funk, we die for the funk, we walk, we talk. If you just take funk out that, we this is what we do for hip hop. And it's our way of life. And hip hop is now the way of life, man. So whatever I do, it will be hip hop. Even if I am the councilman of the Great West Ward in the city of Newark, New Jersey, I'm going to show people what hip hop looks like growing up.
That's
Absolutely.
what's
And
up.
you,
That's
and you
what's
know
up.
it's crazy because you said something about hip hop's in politics, and then I immediately thought. So let's think about it's 1980, whatever year Reagan ran, some 80. Ronald Reagan,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Or anybody. Can you
Is it
imagine?
84 or 80,
I think it's. I
84.
84
think
or
yeah,
something?
80. I was in first
84.
grade. I was
Yeah,
5,
84.
something like that. But can you imagine back then? Can you imagine somebody wanting a hip hop artist to promote them in the
That's
No.
'80s?
crazy.
Nothing. But
Mm-mm.
Crazy.
now, man,
You know what?
Kamala
Forget the
Harris.
80s, the 90s. You couldn't even get
Yeah,
away with that in the
Yeah,
90s.
talk about
yeah,
it, DC. Facts.
yeah. Kamala Harris got Beyonce and all that. I mean, so yeah, I agree, brother. Hip hop, man, it's just it's just taking over. It already has taken over, man, and it's it crossed over. It been crossed over, man. So hip hop is part of. I mean, that's part of that's marketing. That's everything, man, and that's
But
why.
that's everything, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
like like you're saying, it's everything. And I just believe, man, it's not popular until it is, right? Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you are involved in, it's not popular until it is. Like I said, anything that does not come wrapped in the packages that you think it should come in, or that seems like it's inviting, then we say we shun it, we push it away. It's not
Yeah.
popular until somebody makes it. I know DC, I know Dre, I know all of y'all have dreams and ideas that are unheard of right now, right? That
Right.
that that are probably big in your mind. You probably said it to people that are closer to you. You probably said it to some haters in your midst that you don't realize that are haters that have denounced it. Like, nah, that'll never work. But only you know what those ideas look like,
Yeah.
and only you can make them happen in a big way. You are who you are and where you are because of you.
Right.
Because other people, if they don't believe or see what you see, then they're not going to do what you would do
Right. Right.
And that's
until you
facts.
have done it. Until you have done it. Then when you've done it, they want to help. They want to get in the mix. They want to help push it. And that's
Yeah.
cool too. But they're not the innovators of it.
Right. Right.
And that's the
Absolutely.
unfortunate thing, right? When it comes to a lot of things, right? It's that unknown. So when people don't know stuff, they
Mhm.
just they leery, like you say, they haters. They may not want to support you, but the
Mhm.
second they see it look like it's gonna work. Now all of a sudden, like they say, you the best thing since Kool-Aid. They want to jump on board,
Oh
and that's
yeah.
how I see hip hop, right? Uh, so my backstory growing up in St. Louis in Kentucky, hip
Shout
hop
out
at
to the
that
Lou.
time, you know it, baby. And at that time, hip hop wasn't in those neck of the woods like that, like it was on the East Coast, and then made its way out to West and down South or whatever, right? But when you really sit and think about it, even though it was an unknown to us in a sense, it was something about it that we saw was working, and you saw how I like how you broke down the hip and the hop, and it was a rhythm that got you moving, right? And I think that when we think about hip hop and we think about where it's grown, where it's gone, I mean,
Right.
you can't watch a commercial without it. You can't watch a TV show, a movie, nothing. Hip hop is
Yep.
there in some form of fashion, right? But
You
to
damn
me,
near
I've
can't
always
sell a
said,
product without it.
sure can. Matter of fact, if you want to sell a product, you gotta go get some
Yeah.
form of hip hop behind
Right.
it.
Yep.
Because I was thinking about what you were saying before we jumped on, right? In the reality of things, we're at that age demographic where we're the majority. So
Mhm.
we're the hip hop culture, right? So we
Mhm.
know, we've seen where it came from, we know what it does, we know the impact that it can have. And let's just be honest, it was a lot of people, whether they look like us or didn't look like us, that didn't believe in it. But now,
Mhm.
hey, it's how you get business done. And to sit back, which is going to lead me to my next question, you sit there and you talk about, man, what have you done? And you sitting there like, huh? I get it, same way. When somebody approach you, you defensive. But when you really sit back and peel
Yeah.
back the layers and understand what they're coming from, did you
Right.
ever see yourself getting into politics, thinking about where you came from and just how hip hop was looked at?
Yeah. That's a good
No.
question.
The straight answer is no. I never
Mm,
even thought, politicians to hip hoppers was faux pas, right? Like, you know,
right,
those are the enemy. Those are the dudes on the other side because they're not for us, right?
right,
That's the way that it came off. When you create laws against a a culture of people, then you're not with us. When you don't create laws for the people who are suffering, then you are not with them. When you create laws for whatever your culture is, then you are with them. We didn't, black and brown people, we didn't have people creating laws for us. They were making laws for us,
Right.
right.
if
Yep.
you get what I'm saying,
Yep.
right?
Oh, most
Yeah.
So
definitely.
it was locking us in a box. In the 70s, um, the woman had to make sure that the man didn't live with her just so she can get aid from the government. That
Yep.
sounds backwards as hell. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
can't have a man who can help you in the home live with you because you will not get aid from the government, right? and
Yep.
and you should be able to have a man so you don't even need aid from the government. Your
Right.
man can help you, the structure of a family. So it wasn't about just the aid, it was about destructuralizing it and breaking down the family so that it wouldn't become, because the power of families is crazy important, right?
Right.
So
Right.
you have I never thought that I would be into politics, but until I had a conversation with Tupac. And even then, I didn't even realize I would be into politics still. But in 1992, Orlando, Florida, in a motel, we on the Tupac tour. We in a motel where you still had to go into your room from the outside, not inside a hotel. We're in a 16 passenger van and we rode with Lords. When I say we, Lords of the Underground, we shared it with Tupac. And just to fast forward the story, Pac came to my motel room one day and we had a conversation and he said, man, we got to make sure that we create things for our youth that inspires them, that gives them that energy to want to be better. We got to make sure that we create programs that connect our youth with our senior population, with our elder population, and make sure that we bridge the gap. And then we might have to do something that we don't want to do, and that's become legislators. I almost didn't know what he was talking about when he said
Uh-huh.
legislators. I'm like, legislators?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, he like, yeah, man. He said, we got millions of people buying our records, millions of people supporting us, buying magazines and selling things for other people. Those millions of people, we need to turn into voters. Like voters, I'm like, man, I'm a rapper, man. I ain't know. This is what I'm telling them,
Yeah,
After the
yeah.
40s we got in our hand and the stick of something nice that he had behind his
Mm-hmm.
ear and all that type
Mm-hmm.
of stuff, you know. But we're 20 years old at this time. You know what I mean? So I'm not used to a 20-year-old, my peer, telling me this type of stuff that sounds like Martin Luther King or sounds like Malcolm X Shabazz or sounds like Huey Newton, or you know what I mean? I'm not used to
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm used to people on my block. And when you have that energy vibrating on that type of level, it sounds foreign to you. So initially, I was like, man, I'm not doing that. He said, we got to start nonprofits. He said, Rashid, he was calling Rashid back then. He said, Rashid need to do it in Chicago. He was naming all of the hot rappers at that time. It's like, Rashid need to do it in Chicago. Tresh need to do it in East Orange. He said, I'm going to do it either in Oakland or Baltimore, on the West Coast. He was just naming all of the hip hoppers. He's like, you need to do it in you and Redman need to do it in New Jersey, and I'm like, wow, he talking about creating laws. It sounds so far away from me at that time. But look at a 20-year-old saying that we need to become the politicians and not hate them and utilize the fan base that we built up through hip hop to become the ones to make laws for us that support us instead of for us that's against us, you know?
Wow. Yeah, that's deep. That's
And that's the
deep.
Yeah,
crazy
man.
part about it, right? Because it's funny you mentioned Orlando. So actually, that's where I'm at right now. I live 40 minutes outside of Orlando. But when we
Shout
talk
out to
about,
Orlando, definitely.
you know it, Orange County. But when you talked about laws, right, and being hip hop, I automatically go back and I think about Uncle Luke back in the day, right?
Yes, shout
What
out to
he had to
Luke,
go
man.
through just to get an album played, right? And once again, when people don't know, that's when everything is messed up, right? And as you
Yeah.
talk about the same thing, I'm pretty sure we're probably in the same age demographic, right? You're not thinking
hmm
about that at 20 years old. You thinking about what
No.
female you can holler at. You think about who you
Oh,
can go
most
marry for
definitely.
the night, right? That's what we did. But it's crazy because it's that old saying, right? If we knew then what we know now,
Yep.
how would things be so much different, man? But that's crazy to hear that story that you were sitting there chopping over the park like that, and he's
Yeah.
spitting this stuff at you, and I probably would have been the same way. Like, hey, bro, hey, did you not see the female down the hall? I'm not
Right,
worried about
right.
that right
Yeah.
now, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
deep, bro. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Man, everything that Pac asked of me in that hotel room, I've done, man. He asked me to create a nonprofit organization. I did that, man. I did it 2 times over. We went into the schools. We talked to uh, issues with teenage pregnancy, and we talked about drugs. And my manager Hafiz Fareed was another pivotal guy who made sure that we understood what it was about being a young man when you get money and it doesn't come with instructions, and coming from a family that didn't have a male father figure or father figure period, or a male in our lives that could direct us. And because a woman can't teach a young man how to be teach a boy how to become a man, and vice versa. A man can't
Mm-hmm.
teach a little girl how to become a woman. So you
It's
need
true.
both to. And I'm not saying that they necessarily, like, I know some people who are like, well, I got my son or I got my daughter. I'm not saying that you necessarily have to be in the relationship with the woman who mothered her, or the father who fathered them, but you need both. You need both guidances. You need both to help you, and they don't necessarily have to be a biological, because my stepfather stepped in and did a great thing and showed me what business
Same
was and
here.
all of that stuff.
Same
But you
here.
need mentors. I still have mentors. And I'm the age that I'm at now, and I still have mentors. I still have people who direct me, who I run things past, and I think that is cool. That's what keeps me young, because it keeps me abreast. It keeps me living in the now instead of just dwelling in the past. In my now, the things that I do in my now, once I keep that vibrant and keep that elevating on a high, vibration, then it makes my past shake more. Because I give you an example. I seen some young fellas on the corner at the light. They're trying to raise money for their Pop Warner football team, the uniforms and all of that type of stuff. Someone sees me in a Camry. I just bought it for my mother back in the day. They see me in a Camry. One of the coaches say that, oh, look over there. Yeah, that's Do It All. Yeah, from Lords of the Underground. Like I wasn't doing good or something. And then that same person saw me when I won councilman and was like, yo, that's Do It All from Lords of the Underground. Remember the song Chief Rocker and Funky Child? And you see what I'm saying? So your
Right.
now, what you rocking in your now makes your present, your past rock. But if you're not doing nothing now, everybody looks at your past and says you flop. But if
Yeah.
you're continuing to do stuff, they utilize your past as like, yo, he did that too.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep going. You just got to stay motivated. You got to be present, you know what I mean, and utilize your gifts in the present. And that's like an entendre too, right?
Yeah.
Your present
Right.
is a gift, right? You have to utilize your gifts in your present, because nobody cares about what you used to do back in the day. Nobody cares that you had the cars, that you had the money. Oh yeah, I used to have the fat chains and all of it. Yeah, but what you got now
Right.
that's
Right.
inspiring and influencing our people to move forward? Like I said before, man, a movement is not a movement if it's not moving. So you
Yeah.
got, and moving forward, that is, because moving backwards is a thing too. And we don't want to do that. We got a saying in our city that our mayor usually says. He says, backwards never, forward ever.
Wow.
For we're going to forever move forward. We're going to never move backwards. And it's cool to look over your shoulder sometimes just to remind yourself of the journey that you've come from. But you don't have to go back there. Even with our friends and the people that we have relationships with, right? It's cool to stick your arm down and lift them up to your level, but don't jump down. And I used to do that. I'm not talking like I haven't. I used to jump down and try to push them up. And guess what? I'm right back where I started. Like, no,
Right.
I'm going to lift you up. I'm not going to jump down and push you up. You got to hoist yourself up enough to grab my hand, bro. Or
Wow.
sis, let's
Yeah.
go. You know?
That's
Right.
deep. Yeah. That's deep, man. Hey, dude,
For
man,
sure.
can you tell us how the role that can you tell us the role how Raz Baraka played in your political journey?
Most definitely. Forever salute to Raj J. Baraka, whether he's the mayor or not. Forever salute to Amiri Baraka Jr., who is his brother, um, because they believed in me. Sometimes that's all it takes, is for somebody to believe that you are who you say you are, and give you the opportunity and the chance. I don't want anything from anybody except the opportunity to become and improve who I say I am. So that's why you got to be honest and true with yourself. Because if you're not honest and true with yourself, and somebody gives you an opportunity, then you mess it up, then you might have not just messed it up for yourself, you might have messed it up for the next one that comes to them for the opportunity, because now their belief is a little shaken and they might not believe in them because they believed in you and you effed it up. And it
Yeah.
takes a strong person to keep on believing in something that didn't work the first time. You know what I mean? So I salute the people who believe in others. And he's an artist. Ame is an artist. He understands that art can foster change in the community. He understands that he gave the opportunity to support a brother who now can govern where he grew, right?
Mm-hmm.
When something grows in a place, it knows the place, right? So
Right.
it can better tell of what's going on. And a lot of times, man, people, they say, yo, shout out to Shaquille O'Neal, shout out to Queen Latifah. They don't live in our city no more, but we love them because they do powerful things from afar, and they have the finances to do powerful things from afar. But when you're close, you can look Miss Williams in the eye and tell her about a problem that you know, because you just drove around there and saw that there's a rodent problem in the house next to her, and you can deal with it right away. You can shake her hand and look her in the eyes and talk to her, instead of just sending money or instead of just helping from afar, which is a blessing. That's not a shot at them. That's a definite blessing. But when you are closer to the problem and you are closer to the situation, you are more hands-on and better to handle it.
Yeah.
So shout out to Raz J. Baraka and his brother for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to prove who I said I was.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's
And I
what's
think
up. We
you
always need somebody to basically wrap their arms around us, man, and show us the way. I always say this, so like, you know, I'm also a teacher in a sense, right? Adult education, but I always say I learned just as much from you all that y'all learning from me, right? I don't know it all. I just happen to have the
Me
title.
neither, bro.
This is my
Me
job. This is
neither.
what I do with it, right? But I always said you can't do it by yourself, man. And
Can't.
unfortunately, I think sometimes for us as black men, I don't know if it's the fact that we don't want to share because we think somebody gonna do better than us, or we just don't know how to do it. But it's always helpful when we can just wrap our arms around somebody
Yeah.
and bring them along, right? And I'm not looking for no pats on the back, no kudos or nothing like that. I just want to see us achieve, do things. And I like what you said about, you know, when you're not in the community, when you, for instance, I joined the military, so I've been gone from the crib for years. But that don't
Hmm.
mean that I don't keep my ear on the ground to what's happening back at the crib.
Right.
And I would love, I talk about it all the time, if I had the finances like that, I would love to do certain things back at home because I've had the opportunity to leave, see how things work in other places, and then you know that's how you bring that back into your community and run with it, man. So
Most
that's
definitely.
definitely, man. I salute you for coming back into the crib.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
got your boots to the ground, your ear to the streets, and you're doing things, and that builds trust as well because
Yeah.
when people
Right.
can see that you went out and did some things, but now you back here at the crib trying to make it pop, that
Yeah.
right there, man, gives you a you know a leg up on a lot of folks.
Yeah. And you said
Sometimes,
something.
man, you
Yeah.
got to go out your way to find your way. My bad, Jay.
No, that's
That's it.
good. That's
Sometimes you
good.
go out your way to find your way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And DC, you said something about, sharing the knowledge and learning, man. And the one thing, man, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're not gonna learn a darn thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Never be the smartest guy in the room, man.
Yeah,
Never
man,
do that.
because it's just like you know more than what they know. So how you gonna learn? You know?
Right.
So yeah, I
Right.
mean, I think it's important that you get some people because you can't do it by yourself. You gotta have some of the neighborhood like at my job, right? They make policies. The people higher up make these policies about what's going on down here, but you really can't because you don't know what problems we have down here in this office, And
Right.
it's the same thing with the community. If you don't hear, who better to ask than the community of what do you need for this community?
That's right.
And like you said, dude, it's a huge difference, man, to have somebody walking around, like
Hmm.
a councilman walking around, he cares about me. Like, wow,
Right.
I feel good. That's going to motivate
Mhm.
me to be like, hey, look, we all need to do better. Let's do better. How can I help?
Right.
Because it ain't easy winning over a city, because
Not at all.
It ain't
and
easy.
that's
It
what
ain't
I was
easy
going to
winning
ask
over
you,
your
man. Like,
block.
yeah, how did you win over the city, man? Like, because I know there's like, oh, it's politics as usual. We got somebody new, politics as usual.
Well, I don't think it's about winning over the city, right? Because it's just about winning for what you believe in that is best for the people and to get the majority of the people to support that, right? So you have to find out what are their needs. And because you're going to get a lot of people who do not like you, who do not like your policies. They think that Tuesday is supposed to be trash day instead of Saturdays or recycle. So that creates a problem. If you look at news clippings, if anybody watching just the go to Google and put in news clippings for Martin Luther King around the time that he died. Any reports on Martin Luther King, you're going to see negativity in those reports. People hated Martin Luther King. People hated Malcolm X Shabazz. And I'm not saying everybody because all we hear about are the great things that they did, right? But people didn't like them because of certain policies. It's the same thing anywhere you go. And nowhere am I comparing myself to a Martin Luther King or a Malcolm X. But there's people who don't like some of the things that I believe in as a politician, as a
Yeah.
person from our community, as somebody governing where I grew up, because they believe other things. And that's cool, man. A boxer cannot complain about being a boxer because there's going to be punches thrown at him. He's in the ring. He might get a black eye. He's going to get punched on. But the object is to not get hit as much as the other guy does and win for what you're fighting for. That's what this is, man. Winning for what we're fighting for. What do you stand for? Are you standing for nothing? Are you just a problem child? And a lot of times you start to notice that a lot of the loud noise comes from just a few people. Because when you're happy, you're not making that much noise. When you're happy, you're relaxed, right? I haven't seen relaxed people screaming unless they was at a party. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
But people who are causing trouble, my uncle always told me the dude with the loudest mouth, smack him dead in his mouth.
Shut them
And if you
down.
don't fight back, you already know what you're dealing with,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because they want the attention. Where they at? Usually, if you put palm to his cheek, he's shutting up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if he's not, he's fighting, then maybe he's standing on what he really is standing on. But 9 times out of 10, he or she is not. And the quiet people in the room are the ones who are moving the needle forward.
Right. Right.
That's what's up.
Makes sense. Yep. So I know you had a lot of ideas, man. I know we talked about this last time. I think I asked this question the last time I had you on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk about, so when you became councilman, you had ideas, you had ideas, and a lot of people get stuck in the old way. So I just wanted
Yeah.
to talk about that. Like, they just want to do the same old thing, and here you come with some new ideas. Was that like a challenge, or was it, how
Still
did you deal with
is.
that?
Dre, it still is a challenge, man. It still is a challenge. Like I said, anytime something is not typical, anytime something is not what they think it should be, because they've never had it. You got to understand, I'm the first platinum selling hip hop artist to ever win an elected official seat in the United States of America. So anytime I post anything with Lords of the Underground, or I celebrate hip hop, they go, look at the councilman. He all still with this rap stuff. What y'all thought I was going to quit?
Right.
We got council people that are attorneys. Did you ask them to quit?
Right.
We
Yeah.
got council people who are directors of welfare divisions and stuff like that. Did you ask them to quit working for the people?
Wow.
So why ask me to quit when you knew what you were electing?
Right. Right.
Right? I'm gonna still be hip hop, right? So there are a lot of different things, man. Ideas that I had, and what I do is that consistency will outweigh talent on a number of days, right? Just be consistent and persistent, right? So what I do is, if I believe in it, remember, nobody's gonna believe in that idea that you can make a flying car more than you, right? Because you're going to take all of the steps and the moves to move toward that car to fly one day. Sounds crazy until it doesn't. So what I do is I created a revitalization plan for my ward, for my district, the West Ward Revitalization Plan. And I try to stick as close as to it as possible, whether people believed or not. And I have to say, I've been hitting my marks. I've been hitting marks when it comes to dealing with our seniors and being innovative and creating with them. I've been hitting the marks when it comes to healthcare. I said I wanted to do a doc on the block and bring medical healthcare free at times to our inner city communities, and putting doctor vehicles and mobile centers on their blocks. We put mobile police centers around, right? Why not put a mobile medical center around? Because sometimes people have a lot of children. I got a 10-month-old, and he's a handful to deal with. And when you have 3 or 4 of them that are stair steps, it's a lot for, and a single parent, it's a lot for that. You can't even move, even when you're unhealthy, right? You can't even go get the help because you're saying, I got to take care of these children. But when you take transportation fees away, when you take that type of thing and put it in their proximity, then you can close the gap to some of those things. You can fill in the gap to some of those things. So I just tried to stick to my plan. Whatever I said I was going to do, I tried to do it. So
Yeah.
therefore, if I throw it against the wall, I might hit 6, 7 of the things out of those things. And then people say, well, damn, he at least tried. And he got
Right.
6, so he got 7. Or if you love baseball with 40% is an all-star player, you batting
Yep.
400, you a superstar in
Yeah.
baseball. That's really only
Yep.
40%. So if you a baseball theory guy and you doing 40% of anything, you're doing an amazing job.
Right.
So I just try to
Right.
stick to what I believe in, because if you believe in it, you're gonna stand on it. And
Right.
and if you're proven to be wrong, then correct it and still stand on it. You was right. My bad, Dre. You was right, dude. If you should have, I should have put this left hand with this right, man. And in DC,
Mm-hmm.
you was right, man. I should have. But look, we're doing that now. Mixed what I was doing. Now look at it.
Yeah.
Stand on it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Don't dip, go away from it. Stand
Yeah.
on it, because that shows character. Be who you are when nobody's around. Show that integrity, right? And
Right.
then people will really believe and know that you're honest, that you're going to be who you are even when they're not around. Wrong, right, or indifferent. I am not perfect. I have messed up, but I've messed up being councilman. Not anything detrimental, but I have made mistakes by just being a freshman. I have messed up by just being a novice, and that's cool. You know what I mean? Because I learned that we fly the plane while building it. It's nothing
Right.
wrong with that, because when you find out the blueprints that I left behind, I'm gonna be so far ahead of you while you trying to now fly something that I created while flying it. And I think that's what we're scared of a lot of times. We don't want to jump out. We don't want to take the leap. We don't want to start something without having all of the information,
Mm.
because we scared that we're gonna fail. And failure only creates somebody doing something to the best of their ability.
Right. Wow.
Do always tell people it's like this, right? The most successful people fail many
Many
times, right?
times.
And then to your point, you 10 toes down, you stuck with it, and you kept
Yep.
improving, you kept improving, you kept improving. I like what you used to talk baseball and knowledge. So you somewhere along the way you was batting 275, but you kept going to the cage, you
That's
kept doing
right.
your thing. You had a breakout season. You batting 395,
Oh my
40
God.
dingers, 100 RBIs, and next thing you know, you're in the
Woo.
All Star game, right?
That's
Because you
right.
didn't give up. You stuck with it, man. And I think, unfortunately, for our young brothers and sisters, they're so in a hurry to do things. They want it now. They don't
Yep.
realize you got to be persistent with it, and it's okay to fail. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to
It's
fail.
okay.
And I know
Absolutely.
we tell our kids all the time, boy, you or girl, you better not be coming in here with no C's, D's, and F's.
Mm-hmm.
That's failure in a sense, right?
Right.
But what we got to get them to understand is, okay, what did I do to get those grades, and how can I improve on it? And let's keep
Yes.
working on it. Keep working
Yeah.
on it. Keep working on it, man.
Yep.
So I think that's where
That's great
people
information,
mess up
man.
a lot,
Real.
man. They just they don't stick with it, right? They quit, and then they find themselves in a hole, and it's a spiraling effect from there, man. So that's real talk,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
Yeah.
it's demoralizing,
Yep.
when you give up, and then when you look back and you realize you were that close, and looking back on somebody else's success, and you like, man, they went the same path that I went. Yo, how did
Mm-hmm.
they succeed? They went one extra day. They
Yep.
kept
Yep.
going that one extra day until that oil bust through the ground. When
Yep.
you gave up the day before, and you could have
Yeah.
had that same thing, man. So it's like persistence, man. You know.
Yeah. Got to keep going, man. Got to keep
Yeah, you
going.
definitely got to do that, and that's that's it would seem like that should be a simple thing when we think about life is that you got to keep going. But we know mental health and different things of that nature, or better yet, we just never saw it growing up, right? We never
Yes.
seen that positivity, so we just automatically think about the negative thing. But you said it best, all you did was that person went one more day. That one more day made
One
a
more day.
difference.
One
One
Yep.
more day.
man. One more
Yeah.
day, man, can change your life forever.
Yeah.
You
That,
know,
that, that
I saw a
real
quote
talk.
somewhere. They said, what's my guy, the track star from Jamaica,
Usain
Mi-
Bolt.
Is it Michael?
Usain Bolt.
Okay.
Yep.
They said not the swimmer. That was Michael, the swimmer, but Usain Bolt. They said that the way he trained for the track in the Olympics, every day, all day, hours, and he ran for what, a minute
Yep.
Wow, that's
or
crazy.
under? Did he break a record like under 2 minutes?
Yo,
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Yep.
so
You do
you
all that
ran
training to run.
constantly, every day, every year, months, hours
Yep.
to have
wow.
success for under a minute?
Yeah.
Come
Yeah,
on, man. If that don't put it in
wow.
perspective, man.
That does,
Come
man.
on, man.
Dang,
Yeah,
that does.
sometimes you
He
got to
did
put
all of
more
that for nine
in.
seconds.
Yes. Come on, man. Come
Wow.
on.
That's like planning a
That's
wedding.
amazing.
It's like planning a wedding for a year just for a 30-minute ceremony. You right, man.
30-minute
Makes sense.
ceremony,
That's
man.
You just spent
crazy.
100. You just spent 100K.
100K.
Dang.
They go up that
Right,
jump
man.
for
For
5
real, man.
minutes.
5 minutes of
So you
fame,
got to
man.
ask yourself, what are you willing to put in, because you're not going to see all of that back out.
Right.
So what are you willing to put in for what you want out? You know, how much are you willing to pour in the cup only for that when you finally sip that cup to get it out?
Yep.
Like, what is it really going to do for you?
Wow.
And you have
Yeah.
to be comfortable with what you're going to get out of it. You know, you make a whole teapot and you only drink half of the cup sometimes and feel full and feel
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
You know, you make a
It makes
whole
sense.
meal, but you only make a plate for yourself. You're
Heck
not
yeah.
eating the whole meal by yourself. Sometimes it's to feed others, man. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
You put all of this in. It's not always just for you. It's for everybody else around you, even the people you don't know.
Yeah. Facts, man.
I got a
That's
question
facts.
for you, dude, man. I was
Yes,
looking at your
sir.
Instagram page, man.
Hmm.
Talk a little bit about that 24 hours of peace you did, man. How did that go?
Oh man!
What
Shout
what
out to
what brought that
Hakeem
about?
Green.
Okay.
Shout out to Hakeem Green. You know, Hakeem Green is from the legendary Channel Live. You know, Smoking Mad Ism guy.
Yeah.
Uh, this was a brainchild of Hakeem Green and our chief of staff for the city of Newark, Amiri Baraka. They came up with 24 hours apiece. It's been going so well, man. And it's about breakout sessions of how do we deal with mental health in our community. And that component of it with these breakout sessions is education. And you can understand as DC from being an educator, it's not just about the entertainment. Like, we use the art to attract, right? And we use the art to calm and relax so that we can give them that sediment, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That give them that thing that really is gonna make their bodies flourish, make their minds flourish. And a lot of us, like, when you deal with the mental health piece, a lot of us we don't even know how to deal with traumas that we go through. We normalize the traumas that we go through.
Sure I
And
do.
then we're 50, 40, 30 years old and realize that we've never dealt with our traumas that we faced when we were children. So we have breakout sessions of mental health, breakout sessions of how to deal with high risk intervention, with violence and things of that nature, and how to deal with all of those things from from a child to adulthood. And we put on shows. We try to have the artists not do anything that promotes violence, and we talk to them, you know. So even if we'll bring somebody who's a shoot 'em up, kill everybody in their first verse artist, we tell them that, speak to them about positivity, speak to them that this is only entertainment, you ain't killed nobody as far as we know, you know. And
Right.
let's
Right.
have 24 hours of, and we ask for the people in our community to give us 24 hours of no violence, 24 hours of not disrespecting if you from one side, and if you and all of the people who are in the gang culture out there. You know, we ask, if you from one side, east side, west side, north side, south side, whatever side you from, whatever color you bang, or whatever block or set, we ask for you to, if you see that person, you don't say nothing to them. You know, it's 24 hours of peace. You just give them the peace.
Yeah.
Peace. You know, and for 24 hours, man, and we put on a heck of a show. Hakeem Green, He always curates it in an amazing way. We have health and exercise, all of those things that you don't typically get to do. And I know in my city, everybody can't go everywhere, right? We can't have one block playing basketball. We might think we're doing a good thing by saying, oh, we're going to have this basketball game for everybody, but one side can't come play and they might want to play. So on this day, they can all play with each other. They can all interact with each other and have the security that nothing will happen, because this is a truce day. This is 24 hours of peace.
And that's something.
That's what's
man.
up, man.
Amazing.
Anytime I see stuff like that, I think back to the Bloods and the Crips in L.A. when they had their basically their 24 hours of peace, in a sense of just let's cut out all the nonsense, right? But
Right.
what I've always wondered is, like, is it really working? And what have you seen since that? Are you still seeing the love, the unity, or because I know it's still work to be done every single day? But are
Still
you
work to
seeing
be
some
done.
right most day? But are you seeing some positivity even after that's going on in the
Yes.
community?
You know what I'm
That's
seeing?
what's
I'm
up.
seeing that our elders are not scared to walk down the street. I'm seeing that our elders get a different understanding of who our YNs are, right? Our young
Yeah.
people.
Uh,
And I see our young people having a different respect. Is there some issues sometimes? We want no issues. But sometimes you get young people who don't understand what they're involved in, and they get to getting with each other. When I say young people, I'm talking about real young. I'm talking about 13, 14. Like, we had a group of girls fight this time. And somebody will take that little caption of something that lasts 30 seconds and they'll put it all on the internet. Oh, this is not 24 hours of peace. Look, it's a man. It's something that was calmed down almost instantly. And when you look at the girls, they're young little girls. Then you might hear you get your YNs who are rebellious. They might do something away from the 24 hours of peace locale, right? And then they'll associate it with 24 hours of peace. No, that happened way over some side of town, but you're saying 24 hours of peace. Oh, this is 24 hours of disrespect, or 24 hours of
Mm.
violence. And that's the loudness of the haters again. you know
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I'm not saying that it's perfect, but it is working. There's that
Hmm.
baseball theory again, but this is even more so than 40%. It's working so much so that we continue to do it, and people want to be involved, and it gives our youth, it gives our community a chance to interact with each other and go to different parts of the communities that they probably wouldn't even leave their block, and puts them on a stage with the likes of celebrities and superstars, so they can say, man, I just rocked the stage with Jadakiss. When would they ever be able to say that in their life unless they get to the level of a Jadakiss?
Yeah.
And how will they if you never give them opportunity, if you
Right.
never present opportunity to them? So yeah,
Yeah.
it works more than it does not.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what's up.
Definitely, brother. Hey man, we just gonna wrap it up right now. If either one of y'all want to, give a last word, we could do that. Um, for me, I just want to say, man, I appreciate you, brother. I'm not in
Salute to you,
Jersey,
Dre, always,
but
bro.
I salute you, brother, and just keep
Same to
doing what
you,
you're
bro.
doing, man. And dude, like, if you ever need me for anything, man, like if you need like somebody to do a podcast or a quick setup or a quick 2 minute, like, hey, this is dude. Let me know, man. I got your back, man. I got you, man. I'll be more than
I
happy. And
appreciate that,
and
bro.
it's
For
just
real, I
that's
appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah. You a perfect example of somebody leading by example. So I salute you, brother, and I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man.
That's
I
what's
thank you.
up.
It's not easy, man, but no complaints either, right? I know what
No
I'm
doubt.
dealing with. I know what I'm in, so I don't have no complaints, man. Like I said, once again, a boxer can't complain about being in the ring, man.
Right.
He's a
Right.
boxer.
Yep.
So yeah.
That's what's up.
Mhm.
All right
Dre, can
now.
we stay
Look.
on for a minute or two once this is up?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
Okay.
just want everybody out there to know too, man. Like DC said, we need each other, right? Like, we need each other to unify. Even when I say you are who you are, you know, um, and you are who you are and where you are because of you. That doesn't mean you do it alone. That just means that you have the ability to say yay or nay. You have the ability to say, I'm getting up or I'm not getting up. I'm going to move this way or I'm not moving that way. You have the ability to control you. Yes or no. I don't care if you got a job and you have a boss, or but you still can say yes or no. I'm not saying, and depending on how you answer is where you will be. So you are who you are and where you are because of you. Don't complain, just improve you and get at it.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's
All
what's
right,
up.
y'all. We're going to get up out of here. Y'all stay on. Hey, we appreciate everybody watching, man. And I hope you get something out of it. Everybody that's going on the cruise, we need to get do it all on this cruise, man. We need to
That's
get
what I
Yeah,
him
want to
and
and
talk
the
let us
Boys
about.
know,
That's what
Underground
I
man.
want to
in the
talk about once
lineup.
we get off. That's
You
really
know what I'm
what it
saying?
is.
Yeah, man,
So
let's do this
that's,
cruise, man. That would be fun, man. We
yeah,
would love
yeah.
that. Shout out to LL Cool J, man, because that's my brother for real.
No doubt. No doubt.
So,
All right, y'all keep it, y'all keep it safe, keep it easy, man. And we'll see y'all. Y'all stay safe. Love y'all all, man. We out.